This question is from George. In regards to off-highway vehicles, what would you do to make for better opportunities for responsible people like me to be able to use our expensive machines?
Okay, George, thank you very much. So some of the things you outlined in your email were that there are a lot of vehicles parking that weren't actually using OHVs in the staging area. So that to me sounds like a bylaw issue. So I think the best way to go about it would be calling bylaw and reporting it. And if it doesn't work, that's when you could step up and maybe start talking to counselors and say, this is the issue we're having. We're trying to do this correctly. We're trying to use the staging areas, but it's being utilized by people that are just using it as a parking lot. And that's not okay. We need those staging areas to ensure that the OHVs are being offloaded in a safe area where no children are at risk, no families are at risk, and things like that. I think it's very important. You also mentioned that some of the staging areas had things like broken glass and hypodermic needles, used ones. So that to me tells me that that's an area that needs to be maybe monitored a bit more closely by RCMP or bylaw. If people notice something questionable going on, they should be letting bylaw know. So that's just something, maybe lighting needs to be a bit better in those areas, things like that. You also asked that maybe people that are responsible would be allowed to drive their OHVs right off their property, but I think that's a slippery slope. You might be a responsible owner, but we can't guarantee that every owner is going to be responsible. I think it's very important that we have upkeep of the staging areas to ensure that everyone has close access in their home, near their homes, to be able to offload their OHVs, to be able to enjoy them. I think it's something that's very important. And you also talked about not being able to use your powerboat. So of course, I think there needs to be more accessible boat launches. So we need to look at that when we're developing. Can people use the tools that, like you said, we're advertising, saying this is a great place to play, this is a great place to use those kind of things, but we need to make sure that that's part of the package. So thank you very much for the question.